Cesism Global Challenge is a browser-based international business and strategy simulation designed to develop student understanding of the interaction and complexity of various business disciplines and concepts in a global, rapidly evolving and competitive business environment. The simulation game has a particular emphasis on creating long-term, sustainable and profitable growth. Each team will undertake the role as the new management of a global mobile telecommunications company, with the task of managing it through technological evolution. The team will be responsible for developing and implementing a winning strategy over the time span of several years. The team has to find a perfect balance between multiple business disciplines, including production, investments, logistics, marketing, human resources, research and development, and finance, in order to improve profitability and stay on the top. Some of the concepts the teams will have to incorporate into their strategy include technology roadmaps, optimal capital structure, transfer pricing, timing of capacity expansion, efficient allocation of production, outsourcing, and marketing differentiation between market areas. Each simulation market consists of 2 to 12 competing teams with up to 8 members in each. The number of parallel simulation markets is not limited, making it possible to utilize the simulation for any number of students in the class. The simulation is played over 2 to 12 rounds, with each round constituting 1 fiscal year. Practice rounds that do not influence the actual game may be played before the actual rounds. In Cesism Global Challenge, all teams begin from the exact same competitive position and face the exact same market forces. The teams compete only against the other teams in their own market, not against the computer. So each team's decisions influence their competitors' results and the market development overall. The company has operations in the US, Europe, and Asia, while production is limited to the US and Asia. The markets differ in size, growth prospects, costs, trade policy, tax rates, interest rates, and marketing responses. The essence of the simulation is to mirror a rapidly developing technology industry, tie together multiple business concepts and disciplines, and allow for successful execution of alternative strategies. The simulation is designed to reward those who can best identify underlying trends, success factors, changes in competitive situation, and successfully formulate and adjust a winning strategy. The key learning goals of the simulation game are: to increase participants' awareness of the complexity of operating an international company from a strategic and general management perspective, to develop capabilities in identifying and analyzing key environmental and organizational variables that may influence an organization's performance within and across national markets, and how these variables may influence the organization as a whole. To enhance fact-based analytical decision-making and crystallize the financial implications of business decisions by linking the decisions to cash flows and bottom-line performance. To provide practical experience in teamwork and problem-solving, and to excite competitive spirits in a dynamically evolving marketplace. The Cesism Global Challenge user interface is structured as follows. The homepage has general information about the course and team, plus upcoming deadlines and some basic information about the course. All decisions are made under the Decisions section, and results become available in this area immediately after each deadline, and are available to download as an Excel file. Previous rounds' results remain visible throughout the course of the game. The simulation schedule is available on this page. The schedule page presents the deadlines for registration and also the actual rounds. These deadlines are set by the instructor and can be modified during the simulation if needed. Teams and team members in your market can be viewed here. Teams can change their company name, create a slogan, enter a description, and embed a video if they wish. There are 2 separate discussion forums built into the simulation, one for the whole course and one for each individual team. Any posts in the team forum are visible only to members of that team. Readings contains decision-making instructions and a case description. The instructor can also make course materials available through this section. The decision-making instructions cover all the available decisions in the simulation and some of the key issues to be considered, while the case description gives some additional information on the current competitive situation and potential market trends. This is a good starting point for the simulation. After reading the decision-making guide and case description, the students should read the market outlook in order to take into account general economic and industry trends. Having familiarized oneself with the relevant course materials, competitive position, and the likely development of key trends, it is time to proceed with the actual decision-making. A key strategic challenge that the teams face is to direct the company through a process of technological evolution. There are 4 technologies that emerge at different speeds in different markets. Here, we can see the timeline for the introduction of these new technologies. Throughout the simulation, teams must make decisions regarding the timing of product launches based on these technologies. The first step is to estimate the total market growth for each area. We then decide which technologies to sell in each area. A maximum of 2 technologies can be sold in each market at any given time. Note that the availability of technologies depends on your research and development expenditures. Lastly, we must estimate the market share that we plan to capture with each of the technologies to come up with the final demand estimates that form the basis of other decision-making. On the production page, the teams make decisions regarding the allocation of production between available technologies, USA and Asia, and own production facilities and contract manufacturing. Cesism Global Challenge can be used with or without finished goods inventories. In case the inventories are not enabled, and you overestimate your demand and make too high production decisions, the production will be reduced automatically to match the demand. There is an additional cost if production needs to be adjusted during the round. Note that your production will not be increased if your demand turns to be higher than estimated. In that situation, you will have lost sales. Other key issues in production include the effect capacity utilization has on production costs and the learning curve of in-house production. Depending on your course, finished goods inventory may or may not be available. If they are available, the details are presented on the inventory page. Inventory management does not require any active input from the student. USA and Asia production facilities have their own inventories, and products are never shipped between the areas unless there is market demand. The inventory values fluctuate as a result of production decisions and sales outcomes, but careful production planning and sales estimation is still important as inventories incur management costs and possibly needlessly tie up capital. All products in inventory are carried at their original production costs. Oldest products are sold first, and there is no depreciation of inventory. On the investments page, teams can make decisions to expand their own production capacity to facilitate the growth of their company. Production capacity can be expanded in both USA and Asia by investing in new production plants. These investments take 2 rounds to finish, which means that if you invest in one on the first round, you will have more production capacity on the 3rd round. The cash payments, on the other hand, are always settled on the round following the investment decision. When you make a planned investment, you are committing a substantial amount of money into a long-term investment. You need to make sure that you can pay for the investment with the revenue that you are making from it. Just like inventory, human resources decisions may or may not be available on your course. The HR function in Global Challenge is tied to the research and development and provide an alternative way of carrying out the technological evolution of products. The human resources function consists of 3 decisions: number of employees this round, monthly salary, and monthly training budget. The number of employees is definite, and you can always have the amount of workforce you wish provided that your salary level is high enough. You can also lay off all employees if you choose. Costs from human resources include salary, training, recruitment, layoff, and other R&D costs. All of these items are included in research and development costs on the income statement. Key issues to consider in human resources include employee turnover and efficiency. Salary, training, success of the company, and good use of employees' time all affect the employee turnover rate, while higher salary through ability to attract talent, cumulative training expenditures, and low turnover all support higher level of employee efficiency. On the R&D page, teams can invest in in-house product development and buy technology licenses if they wish. Own R&D has a one-period delay before the technologies and features become available for production. License purchases, on the other hand, are available immediately. They are both substitutable and complementary ways of building competence, which means that you can first invest to your own R&D, then decide to buy a license, and then improve the technology further by your own R&D again. You can use any combination of the two to reach the desired level of technologies and handset features. If your course has human resources decisions enabled, the in-house development deals with mandates rather than cash. The development will work the same way as with cash, but in this case, you have to synchronize your product development decisions with your human resources decisions. It also means that the required development effort varies based on your efficiency level, and the ultimate costs of development also depend on your salary and other HR decisions. R&D investments are very strategic in nature, and it is difficult to apply any exact investment calculation method on those. Even at best, those calculations include heavy assumptions and uncertainties. However, at least when you consider investments into new handset technologies, you should think how many devices you must sell in order to recover the money that you spent on the development. On the marketing page, you decide your marketing mix, namely product, price, and promotion. These decisions need to be made for each product and market area. Since you have only one product in each market in the beginning, you need to make these decisions for one product only in each area. As soon as you have more than one product, however, you will make the decisions for both products separately. When you make your marketing decisions, such as advertising, you should look at the sales margin that you can generate from the product in the specific market. Usually it is reasonable to overspend in the beginning when you're launching a new product. However, in the medium term, you must be able to pay for all your advertising of the product with the sales margin that the products bring in. On the logistics page, teams must decide the delivery priorities from both production areas and internal transfer pricing multipliers. The delivery priority decision is only relevant if your global supply is not enough to fully satisfy your global demand. In that case, the supply runs first out from the third delivery destination. When you set the delivery priorities, you should attempt to maximize your total margin from the products. This can be achieved by prioritizing those markets where unit margins are the highest. In other words, if you run out of supply, you want to make sure that it happens in the market where your unit margin is the lowest. Transfer pricing refers to the unit cost that is charged when shipping products from one area to another inside the company. While market pricing is the starting point, some variation is allowed. With transfer pricing, you can adjust your profits between different units, and you can make other business units participate in R&D and other fixed costs. Transfer pricing can also be used to benefit from different tax rates between countries by making high tax rate countries pay more for the products, thereby transferring profits to low tax rate countries. Lastly, on the finance page, teams must decide how they will finance the company. Will they distribute any profits to shareholders? And how will they handle the cash and local debt positions? The company can be financed with equity, long-term debt, and short-term debt. Short-term debt is more expensive than long-term debt, and if the company faces a shortfall of financing, the system will automatically raise new short-term debt to cover the shortfall. Accurate forecasts help minimize the short-term debt used. Equity, on the other hand, is always the most expensive source of financing, but it lowers the risks associated with bankruptcy. Often, the ideal capital structure includes approximately 50% of equity, as this minimizes the weighted average cost of capital and thus maximizes the value of the company. Profits can be distributed to shareholders as dividends or share buybacks. Often companies tend to strive towards steady dividends that do not fluctuate over the years, and if there is a need to distribute more profits to shareholders, then share buybacks programs are utilized. Throughout the decision-making interface, participants have access to an anchor menu providing continuously updated figures based on the decisions and estimates made so far. The anchor menu consists of profit and loss statements and balance sheets for the whole group and each area separately, as well as key financial ratios and parameters. The reports include previous round results and budgeted figures for the current round. Although not a true indicator of coming results, this provides teams with a base set of results that they can analyze to evaluate the decisions they have made so far. Cesism Global Challenge provides each team member with their own decision-making area that is accessed by their unique login details. Thus, each member is able to work independently and come up with decisions as a potential strategy for the team if they wish. The team members are then able to cooperate and collaborate here using the decision checklist page where all team members' decisions can be seen side by side. This allows Cesism Global Challenge to be delivered just as effectively in a virtual or blended learning environment as it is in a traditional classroom setting. By pressing copy, a team member's decisions is moved to the team decision column. At the deadline, the system reads the decisions from the team decision column and calculates the results for the round. Team decisions can be edited directly by pressing Go in the team column. In addition, any team member can access the other team member's decision area by pressing Go in the respective column and import another team member's decisions to their own area by pressing Import. After each round, the system generates a collection of reports for teams to analyze their performance. The reports become available immediately after the deadline, unless otherwise chosen by the instructor. They include financial statements and market reports for all markets, key financial indicators, production report, cost report, and depending on your course, an HR report. The various reports give vital information for teams looking to adjust their strategy and improve their performance. Every team should analyze the results by comparing their team's results against their competitors and try to identify winning and losing strategies and decisions, and then revise their strategy if necessary. The teams can be benchmarked on a variety of metrics, and while we endorse using cumulative total shareholder return, choosing the winning criterion is left to the instructor's discretion. Everything from market shares and accumulated revenues to return on equity and operating margin is available. Results can be downloaded to a spreadsheet for further analysis by clicking Download, and also printed easily using the Print button. A slideshow of results can be accessed here and includes an array of charts and graphs detailing various aspects of the team's performance.